Yay, she's waving. Hi, Noms. Let's view.
Hello.
Hello!
Girl, you know what? I'm myself, but
How are you?
I'm learning things here. I'm learning. I'm good.
You did well. You did well for a first attempt. You did well for a first
I'm
attempt.
good, my friend. Hey, computer will always be a computer. It doesn't matter what app it is, whether it's a calculator, it doesn't matter.
It's it's called technology. Please get with the times. Get with the times.
Even if the TV, the smart TVs, they just operate. I just think to myself, you know what? It's okay. You're not you're what do you call born? No, I'm not a born free.
Country, no.
No, I'm not a born free. I when they told us that Chris Hani had died, I was knowledgeable. I was probably
Yeah.
I cried. I
Yeah.
didn't know him well.
I think I remember the funeral as well.
Yeah. So
But Fred, but wait. I need to introduce you. So let's start off fresh.
Sorry,
Let's start off fresh.
sorry.
Hi,
Hello.
Noms. Welcome.
Thanks, friend. Thanks.
Welcome to well, I call this platform hashtag Girls Living Abroad. Thank you very much for accepting my request. And it's basically just, I think we need to make a disclaimer because we want this conversation to be very informative. It's also just based on our personal experiences, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, especially because we're going to be focusing on hashtag coming to London.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not really sure where you want us to start. Do I ask you how was it when you landed, or must I take like a couple of steps back?
Dude, I think because coming here started way before.
Okay.
But when I say way before, I don't mean, I think because most people that I know that had decided to relocate abroad usually would have had like taken some time, like even months or even more than a year preparing to come here. For me, it was literally probably about 3 months.
3 months. Okay.
Hubby probably longer
Okay.
because in his head he had already decided that it's time for us to probably just test the waters abroad.
Okay.
And now for the longest time I was against the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was sudden, I think, for me, because I take a long time to adjust to things.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and to the extent where it even like my appearance changed.
Okay,
my look changed.
Okay.
Because I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like it was a new discovery of myself as well.
Okay.
So for some reason I was like, and I think I had gone through like an extensive period of stress in terms of my career.
Okay.
So when this opportunity came, I thought, yeah, freedom is coming.
Tomorrow.
I was like, you know
Get
what?
ready, mama. Prepare for your freedom. Focus. Okay. So let's take it a step back, right? So in the 3 months, how was the preparation? What exactly were you doing?
You must remember, we don't come from rich families,
Yeah.
where I also know of people that have had help from like their family in terms of preparation and like funding. With us, it was just basically what we had. And I remember, I think when we told our parents and extended families, I think they thought we had a lot of money.
Yeah. That is the assumption. Yeah.
And I'm like thinking, if only you knew. We're going because we want to go hustle.
True.
And we wanted to like start afresh. And to be honest, to that extent, in terms of it's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place if you want to save a bit.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, what else? Oh, it's a great place where most things work very well. But I feel like I'm just going off a tangent. I'm not answering the question. Sorry, my friend. I do that.
Okay. That's fine.
Sorry. So
Yeah.
you asked, what was the question again?
So I asked, so in terms of the build up to coming to the UK, so what were you doing in the 3 months? So after because you said it was a bit of a shock, and then now you need to pack up shop and you need to relocate to another country.
Okay.
So what were the steps or the processes that you went through? Like, if you've got property, did you sell it? If you had a car, did you sell it? Is it still back home? What exactly did you do? What happened?
Okay, so I was studying. I'll start with my career. I was doing my master's. I was like 18 months into my master's.
Yeah.
Where my mentor.
Can we just take a step back? Sorry, friend. Can you just introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Nombasa, surname Lwana. By profession, they call me Dr. Lwana.
Thank you very much.
What else? And I graduated in 2012. So most of my background in terms of experience has been mostly clinics in public hospitals, and then after that went into private emergency medicine. And then after that I was like, you know what, this is like really stressful. I don't have time for family. And I felt like my career was on a standstill, and then I decided that maybe I should study further and try and specialize. And when I decided to do masters in anatomical pathology, which is the study of diseases, which is one of the most hardest
specializing.
French.
George, and yet you are in the land of the language.
You know, no, it's different, friend. You know what it is? It's psychological. It's psychological.
Okay.
When you are with your sister and your brother, I think the mind knows that
it must change.
Yeah, it knows that it's free. Like it can interchange. But when you are with a different race, an English-speaking race, your mind is focused.
Okay. So I'll go focus. And this is supposed to be an informative discussion, but I'll go focus.
Okay, no, friend, this is supposed to be a comfortable conversation. It's supposed to be a comfortable, informative conversation.
Yeah.
But then I was doing my master's, and then it was heartbreaking, friend, because these people had invested so much into like preparing us for exams, and it was hard, friend, because it's a kind of program where they also understand it's very difficult, so they also try and support you in your other aspects of your life. So we got to know each other very well, in terms of our dynamics at home and whatever we needed to support each other at home so that we could focus at school. So it was hard, but at the same time, I had gotten to a point where I knew it wasn't for me.
Okay.
But I had to keep pushing because I didn't have the luxury of just quitting because I can change, because there were school fees invested in this. Do you understand? Everyone else in my family, my husband, my daughter, have sacrificed so much so that I could focus with this. For me to just decide I don't like it anymore, I must just quit.
Yeah.
So it was hard. But when my husband decided that he needs to come this side, and that he had gotten an opportunity to come this side, I knew there was no question about it. I had to. Sorry, guys.
I have to pack.
Hey, the king has spoken. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm sorry. Like, I can let go, and I need to let go because it's not something I really am invested in wholeheartedly, because my passion wasn't in it anymore, and his passion was into coming here.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, now the dynamics of our relationship have also changed. So I need to support him. Okay. And I know, I knew, what I thought I knew was that, hey, people, guys.
Flames.
I thought because of my profession, it was flexible for me to like get a job anyway, know? Yeah. So I knew, like, no, I'll just find my feet, and even better, I'll get to know myself better. Yeah. And know exactly what I want to specialize in. Yeah. If it is something I want to specialize in. So then I had to quit work. So I resigned, served my notice. My mentor and the head of department wasn't happy about it.
I can only imagine.
No, he wasn't. He thought we were making a mistake. But he was thinking for himself. And
obviously.
And then so immediately after that, now I had our focus in terms of trying to get funds into coming here had to start. Okay. So immediately after that, I booked shifts. I went back into private work, and then I booked shifts. And they were desperate. For some reason, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord for me. At that time, they were desperate for people. So I could increase my rate. So I negotiated with them because I saw they were desperate. So I was like, I don't really want to work more. But because you guys need someone and I need the money.
As well, true.
Yeah. Are you willing to increase my rate? Yeah. So it's something that we could negotiate, and that's how we got some of the money building up to come here. Okay. We at the time we were renting. Okay. So we served in our notice to our landlord that the situation has changed. Yeah. We know that our lease hasn't ended yet, but she was very, very understanding. And at that time, she also was going to stop renting out her house as well. Okay. Her sister needed a place to stay. And so after that, we moved back home. And the nice thing about where I worked, I could also still work back home. Okay. So, and then on the side, hubby is busy selling our furniture. Yeah.
It couldn't have been easy though.
When I saw people take my furniture out, that was real. I think that's when it hit me that we're going.
Okay. So did you just have anybody and everybody like buy your stuff, or?
No, because it was such short notice. We couldn't wait for people to like take time in looking at the stuff. So we basically just told everyone we knew.
Yeah. Okay.
It was all close family and friends.
Yeah.
Ha! And that's when you know, my friend, people
That
have been eyeing. People have been eyeing your things. People.
And people are very specific. It's like, no, nah, can I just have like your kitchen chairs and your cupboard and that dining room table? And you're just like, oh, okay. That will be, this is how much I'm selling that for. And it's got, no, nah, can I just have your kettle and I'll have this and you're like, okay, that's gone too. So, okay, we basically also did the same process. Because I thought maybe you would have maybe advertised it on like maybe Gumtree or something like that.
That would have taken forever. And
Forever.
I did this way, it went faster, and I didn't think it would, but it did.
Okay.
And that's when I realized that, all these people have been eyeing things. Like, I'm like, but you've never commented. And I'm like, but you've never ever commented on how beautiful my coffee table is.
Okay, I'll comment the next time I come to your house. I'll comment.
I don't mean that I want to compliment, but the way people just already knew, and you know, and I was like, but I was grateful as well because you know, and I knew it would, it was people that I knew that would look after the stuff, even though it's theirs, and it's people that weren't gonna take us for a ride either and be like, I will pay you some other time. It's friends and family that knew our situation. And yeah, I'm glad. So what else? And then there's also then I had to prepare my daughter as well.
Okay. So in terms of your daughter, was she in, sorry, because I say crashy, or was it reception, or?
She was at reception. Well, they call it reception here. Is it reception?
Is there a difference between a crash and a reception?
No, is it? I don't know. Is reception the year before grade R?
No, is reception not grade R? No, friend, listen. Because here, because Pampi was in grade R last year, and now he's in year 1.
Oh.
So last year, grade R is reception. So he was doing reception here. That's what it's called, reception.
Oh,
but back home, it would be grade R. Yes.
Oh, but so Uzuzu would have been doing grade R back home last year. No, this year.
Because of the age thing. Because then now they were a year early.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So she would have been in grade R back home.
Okay.
But she started in level 1.
Okay. So she's ahead by a year.
Dude. But should I tell you the bomb now?
No, later. Let's let's keep moving. So we've sold off our furniture. We've served notice in terms of our lease agreement, and then we've also also serving notice in Sebenzi, right?
Yes.
So that's where we are, and you've basically now geared up in terms of increasing your charge out rate to be able to make up the funds to be able to come to.
But I was doing so many things, Fred.
I can, we know you're a superwoman, but let's slowly. Yeah. So that's, I can say personal. This is what you went through. So now in terms of let's talk, because I found the visa application process it was lengthy and it was tedious, and they wanted a lot of things. So let's talk about that. What did they ask you guys for? What did you have to go fetch from university and do what? And then as you share your experiences, I'll also just add on our little headaches that we had along the way.
Friend, that part. But I'm not going to speak a lot on that part.
Yeah.
I do have a cost breakdown.
Yeah.
Because most of that process, because we had to basically play tag between hubby and I.
Yeah.
And he was actually basically running that process. But one of the greatest help that we did get was to use the immigration lawyers.
Okay.
Because, and how we got to know of them is because of, can I name companies? No, I won't name.
Are we doing a paid partnership here? Huh?
What do you mean? What do you
No,
mean?
I'm not paid partnership. We're not naming brands here. We're not being paid.
No, okay, no,
No, I'm
okay,
joking.
yeah. Right. Yeah, you're right, friend. Okay. So anyway, so the company that had hired hubby to work this side basically paid the same immigration lawyers that we used for Zuzu and I.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So they basically steered what we needed to get in terms of documents.
Okay.
They booked our appointments for the TB tests and for what do you call that place? That immigration place?
We're in Santon or which one?
In Santon, yeah.
All I know is that it's in Santon.
No, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then what else? We just paid them to just steer the direction for us, I guess.
Okay.
And yeah, which helped because then it removes some of the stress from us in terms of trying to find info.
Okay, fair enough. Because I think let's just take a step back. Okay, wait. So a couple of people have joined. Just want to say thank you to Ayanda, to Percy, Mabato, to Mongezi, Lebu, and Sibisi for joining us. I hope you find the conversation interesting. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask or add. But where we're at right now is just discussing the visa process, right? And I think it's also just important to mention the fact that we're speaking from a perspective of an external hire, right? Because from what I understand, your yabona manje kumele sibize amakhampani wabantu. Your hubby used to work for a different company back in SA, and then he was being employed by a separate company in the UK. So that is a complete external hire. Whereas I know there are certain people that are on the line right now that came via secondment. So it's just very important to just clarify that the process for when you come through for a 2-year secondment versus when you're an external hire is very different. Let's just highlight that. In terms of the secondment, we'll get someone else on a different day to just take us through the secondment process and how that works. But then today, we're just speaking from a perspective of being external hires. And I guess the difference, friend, between you and I is that, for example, so when I came, we didn't have an immigration lawyer, so we didn't go that route. We were basically given basically the website to say just go into the website for the visas, and then UK visas go onto what is it, ukvisas.gov or something like that, whatever. So go onto it and then basically read through the process of what you need to do. So we basically had to create firstly accounts on that website, and then from there we literally filling out all the application forms was done by ourselves. The submission of, so all of us had to submit our passports, what is it, birth certificates, what was it as well? I think as well, something also important to note is that so for people that are looking to come across with their families, but are not necessarily married in the sense that it is, you've got a marriage certificate and both of you have the same surname, you guys would usually have to prove that you've lived together for more than 2 years. Yes. But then if you married, then obviously you're going to supply the marriage certificate, right? We also just need to be distinctively clear. Marriage certificate would obviously be recognized in terms of, I don't know the laws of, right? But if you're married under customary law, I need a certificate. which is what happened to some of us. So then in that regard, that's where you also need to prove that you've lived together for more than 2 years. This is where you basically either get your lease agreement or you get a title deed with your names on it to say you live together. This is the duration that you live together. If there's a need for you to get an affidavit, you also need to get that as well. And these are all the documents that go through. So that was the process that we went through. And then and then there's also something called national insurance that you need to pay for, right? And because your visa usually lasts for 3 years, ENI, you pay for it for each individual year. So I know now the cost is 400. So it's 400 per year. So it's 1.2 pounds per person.
Yeah.
And if I need 3
Yes.
times the cost by 3, right? And the actual visa application form or the visa process is about 700 pounds per person, times it by 3. So we just, making sure the information is out there so that people are not shocked when they do come across this on the various
When I was coming here, Lord.
Yeah.
Where was this conversation when I was coming? Where was this conversation when I was here?
And friend, I think that's the purpose of this Insta conversation, just so that if there is somebody that is thinking of coming abroad, this can be a link that they can go to. And we're obviously hoping to put it onto YouTube as well, so that if people are interested in knowing what is the process of going abroad and living there permanently, these are the sort of things that you need to start thinking about. And I think it was also just a concern that a conversation that I was having with one of my friends, and they were saying when they tried to look up information, they just couldn't find anything. But then when they landed here, they were surprised that there's so many South Africans and so many of us from like back home and Ekasi and so forth, like how, but why don't you guys make this information readily available? And that is the purpose of this conversation. So yeah, friend, I think I've just highlighted the main pieces for the visa process. I'm not sure if there's anything else you would like to add. I think there's 2 things I left. Sorry. There's something that you mentioned earlier on. What is it? The Naric Certificate.
Yes.
So for people that don't know what a Naric Certificate is, it's basically a department confirming that you did your qualification in English, and they basically need to get your transcript from your university. But this is not something that you can give them, just your transcript from university. It has to be done through Naric for some odd reason. Don't know.
America also uses Naric. So I think most of these first world countries use them.
Okay. Okay. And then sorry?
Go on.
Okay, and then the last part of it was the TB tests that need to be done. Epitori. So you basically go to Epitori or wherever you booked.
I need that guy's job.
So we did ours Epitori. So it's basically a TB test that you get done, and they basically clear you of that you clear of ETB, therefore you can travel and come.
What did he do, friend? What did he do? The doctor, did you see the doctor?
That's another conversation for another day, doctor.
How much did we pay for that?
How much was it? I'm not sure.
But it was a lot.
It was I think well when I came here, we paid, it was about 1,250 per person. So even boys, the fact that he was 2 at the time, I got a discount. So he's treated as a full human being. Yeah. So I think we've discussed the full visa process, and it's just good to also note that just because you've applied it doesn't mean that it's going to be approved. It can be declined. And when it's declined, they give you a reason. Ours wasn't declined. Everything went through GATA the first time around. But if it is declined, they usually do send you a notice just to say these are the reasons. You probably need to fix something in your form or something like that, and then you're given a period of time that you must fix it, and then you fix it, you send back, and then they might approve it. But if it is not approved, all the monies you've spent are not refundable.
I'm sorry for laughing.
Yeah, let's just put it out there. Yeah. And then, so yeah, friends, so we've gone through the visa process. Now you guys have your visas, you've collected your passports in Sandton. Where to from here? Have you bought your plane tickets? Have you organized accommodation for when you land in the UK? Take us through that process.
Dude, woo! Oh Lord, shame. Yeah, this year has been yeah. It always reminds me of that movie we used to like growing up, Coming to America. But the difference is I always think of Eddie Murphy's movie. Okanye, no, rather, not even, because Eddie Murphy was a prince. He was an African prince. So he came here wealthy, and he came here he came to America, not even here, but I'm
fair.
There were points when we were during the process of coming here. What was that movie or show? Is it Temba coming to Joe's? Temba. But basically, it's about Temba from the rural areas coming to the big city type of thing. Yeah. Sometimes that's how it felt for me.
Okay.
I didn't think it would, because I thought, because we spend most of our lives in like an urban area and in the city, it's just another first world. Like, you understand? Just nothing. There won't be like major changes like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, the question was, friend, after that, ne?
Yes.
Getting what now? This is before we bought the flight tickets.
Yeah.
We bought our tickets probably 3 weeks before we left.
3 weeks.
Okay. Luckily they weren't like massively expensive, so they cost us 10,000 a ticket. So that was
30K.
Yeah, 30,000 rand for all three of us.
Okay.
And that was like a one-way flight.
Yeah.
From Joburg to Heathrow. And then what else? And then luckily they had already organized for us to stay for 1 month. It was a nice apartment. In Wembley, near the stadium. So we got here like end of November. So the 28th of November we got to London. And so it was just before Christmas time. And it was nice because it was near a very busy area, urban, young area. Lots of things happening around. The Christmas lights were on, so even though we weren't home, it was a bit exciting, especially for the little one as well. It was extremely cold.
True.
And surprisingly, I think it's because my daughter was excited. She didn't want to wear her jacket. And she kept on singing the Frozen song, "'Cause the cold doesn't bother me any." And I'm like, girl, no, it's cold.
Get dressed.
Elsa or Anna or whatever their names are, that's the movie, my baby. Yeah. It's cold here. It came to a point where she's like, "No, mommy." And on the same day, she's like, "No, mommy. I think I can wear my jacket now. It's really cold." But then we also weren't prepared in terms of the weather.
Sure.
So we had those costs as well. So we had to prepare ourselves in terms of getting us the winter jackets here and just other warm stuff as well. But we didn't go expensive. We didn't go for brands. We just went for like The close M&S. We went to M&S.
You went to M&S.
Yeah, friend, isn't that
What happened to Primark?
where we lived,
What
friend?
happened to
I
H&M?
don't I don't know about Primark. The
Okay.
closest where we lived, the nearest shopping center had M&S.
There.
It had Gap.
Okay.
So, do you understand? It didn't
Yeah.
have H&M. H&M, I would have been there like I would have been there for all of us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But yeah, at M&S, isn't M&S more on the same? It's more or less the same as H&M prices, isn't it?
What you've just done is basically compared Iulu at Snapchat. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
know it's different, but anyway, but that was also costly.
Okay.
For myself, I didn't. For hubby and I, we didn't spend a lot on clothes. It was more for our little one. Yeah. So what else? What else? What else? Oh, before I forget, if you're planning on coming here, girls, and you need your hair done, do it at home. Do it at home. If you want to weave or whatever, get it at home.
How much did it cost you?
Braids, please ask them to do the fine ones so they can stay longer.
Okay.
And ask them to do it at home.
But how much did you get it done for here?
Luckily, when I came here, I had a mohawk, so I didn't have a full head. So I did block braids, like a little piece, like half my head, for like 120 pounds, which is still a lot.
Okay.
Still a lot. But if it was another hairstyle and I wanted to do my whole head,
it would have been more.
About 250.
Sure. Do you still do your hair at the same place?
Friend, I've been Jonga. I went once.
Because if you need me to hook you up, like I know like cheaper places. Like,
oh, now you tell me.
Friend, you never mentioned that you did your hair for 250. How was I supposed to know?
I didn't do it for 250, but
yeah, but even that 120 is still expensive. You could have like gotten it done for like a good 50 pounds, 70, 80 max.
Where?
When you come to my hood, I'll take you there. You know what's funny? It's actually halfway between you and me because it's in Lewisham.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where you find most of the salon.
Oh, that broke my heart, friend. When I had to pay, I was like, I wish I was at home. I was like, I wish I was at home.
Okay, so now you're in the
Go on, friend.
Oh, there was a bit of a glitch there. I'm saying, so now you're in the UK. Let's just take a step back. When you arrived at the airport, your phones and the network and the SIM cards, can we just talk about that? Because I wasn't ready for that. I assumed that the network that I was using was an international brand.
Yeah, me too.
And then I get here and then phone is not working.
Oh, sorry, friend. I'm just charging my phone.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Well, what was your experience with landing and your phone and the network and
landing? I think my phone was off. I forgot that process, right? I really forgot. I don't think we really paid attention to our phones until we got to our apartment.
Okay.
But I know one of the first things we did do when we got to our apartment, refreshing up, we got settled in, and we had to go get SIM cards.
SIM cards, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, because my shop was at the airport.
Oh, friend.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that people need to be conscious of. if you can avoid buying the SIM cards at the airport, because obviously prices are just so expensive. So if you can actually get to where you need to get to first, do
Right.
that, and then there's usually like cheaper shops
Fine.
around where you live. I think so.
Okay, no, I think it's better now. In terms of the lighting, is the lighting fine? Move to a
You're a
better
bit
lit
darker
area.
than you were earlier on, actually.
I'm not sure what's
You
going on. Sorry
can.
about this. But carry on talking.
No,
Carry
I
on,
was
friend.
just saying, I'm saying for people that are able to get their SIM cards and networks sorted, it's best to do it closer to the area that you live versus you trying to sort it out while you're still at the airport, because it's a bit pricey when you're at the airport.
Uh-huh.
Friend, you're
Very
dark,
deep.
eh?
I know. Wait. I've been dark.
No, you were a lot better when this conversation started.
Is it better?
No, now you're fuzzy.
Is
We
it
can't
better?
see you.
Now I'm
We can
fuzzy.
hear you. We can't see you.
Is it not the light? The
No,
sunlight.
you're fuzzy. You're fuzzy.
Wi-Fi?
Hey, yeah?
D?
You're a bit fuzzy, friend. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Hello, my friend.
No.
Can you see me?
Uh, okay, I think we might have to. Yes, you're better now. Yes, you're better now. Um, I'm not sure if you have anything else to add in terms of your experiences, because you basically took us back to the build up to coming to the UK. I'm not sure. Do you have any words of wisdom for people that are coming abroad? Is there any advice that you'd like to give people?
Um, get in touch with whomever. If you don't know people, um, reach out to a complete stranger, even if they don't come from the same country, even if it's from another country. People usually are more willing to be open and with information. You just need to ask. Because the funny thing is, before I came here, I had to prepare for exams to get a license to work as a doctor this side, and I didn't know anyone who would give me that information. And I knew there were past papers out there, and I didn't want to pay so much to get the information. All I needed to do was actually ask. Some random guy who was in Ireland was also preparing for the same exams. I reached out to him on Facebook, and I basically looked for groups for people that were preparing for the same exams, and they shared information. And he was a guy from Nigeria. He gave me his info, which was nice. Yeah, what else?
I think, sorry, we've got a question here from Upesi. She's saying, what was
Oh,
the process of getting your daughter registered into school, and how were the costs compared to back home?
that's a very good question.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. So the process is when you decide, I didn't know. So when we first got here, right? We got here end of November, just
Mm-hmm.
before. So schools close at like around about the 16th of December, right? So my daughter wasn't going to school during that time. And I was always wondering why people were looking at me funny during the week. I had like strangers looking at me funny because I used to take her to the library because I used to go to the library and we used to read books together. just to keep her up to date with what's happening with like with schoolwork and stuff.
Mm.
And then I was like, and then we spoke to one of my husband's friends who's lived here for years, and then he told us that apparently it's against the law not to have your child at school in the UK.
Yeah.
My daughter was 5 at the time, right? And that the apartment we lived in was only temporary. It was only for the month. We hadn't found a permanent place. So I didn't see the need of trying to get her to a local school where we lived when we hadn't moved to our permanent place.
Yeah.
But then I was told, girl, it doesn't matter. Even if she's going to be at the local school for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it doesn't matter. A child has to be at school, and it doesn't cost anything if you decide to take your child to a public school.
So I think on that point, right? I think just again information for people. If you're coming to the UK, because when we came to the UK, boys, that was true. But if you're coming to the UK, first thing, if your child is turning 3, they have to be at a nursery. It's not a I choose not to. They have to be at a nursery. That's the first thing. And then you could also apply for 50% discounts. So
nice.
there's a 50% discount that you can apply for, but then there's the additional 50% that you can apply for if you're already a citizen, or there's certain rules that apply for that. Obviously, we didn't meet the other 50%. We only met the first 50%. So that also cuts down on the cost. Nursery is quite expensive. It was for us. So he does that. And then so that's nursery, and then reception. So if you choose for your child to go to a public school,
Can I ask how much was nursery?
So, friend, so
okay,
the first,
if you're not comfortable,
no, it's fine, friend, it's fine. So the first nursery that Upampi went to was about £1,250. That was the first one.
A month?
Huh? Per month. Yes, per month. And this was, remember, this is before the 50% discount. And then because of certain issues that we had with the nursery, boys, I was the only African child, Gulesa school. So there were issues with that nursery. Then we took him out. We decided to take him out of that nursery. That nursery was about probably like maybe 5 minutes walking distance from where I used to work. So it was very convenient. So I get off, I drop him off, I go to work. From work, I pick him up, we get onto the train, and then we come back home. It was very convenient. But I had to take him out because I was like, my child is not going to endure this. It's just not going to happen in his lifetime. So took him out, and then the second nursery that he went to was about £960. So there was a reduction in the cost, but that was also per month. When the discount kicked in, it probably came up, it wasn't like a full 50% because they actually calculated based on hours. It probably came up to like $650.
Okay.
So that was the total monthly cost. So it reduced to that amount. And then, so that is just nursery. And then when they turn 4, they then have, not that they have, but then obviously they'll then graduate to reception. And then this is where you as a parent then choose to take them either to a government school or a private school or whatever. I personally don't have a lot of information when it comes to private schools. So we took Upampi to a government school. But I think also the rules of the place is that you need to apply to the top 5 schools that are the nearest around where you live. So where you live is also very important. So with the schools that you apply to, they get accredited. So you can either get accredited to say you're an outstanding school or you're a good school, and then there's the other ratings that are not so favorable, right? So we looked for AMA ratings that were outstanding, and that's literally like 5 minutes from where we live, and that's the school that Upoiza goes to. So he then did reception there last year, part this year, and then now he's in year 1. So that's just the process if we have parents that are going to be listening in on this. So it's also just very important to just be conscious of the rules of the land. Anything else, friend? Yep. Yes.
Will give you the more info on how to actually start the process. To be honest, I don't think it was much of a hassle for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared, because Percy was asking, compared to back home. So if you're comparing it to back home, to the public schools back home, I don't have a personal experience with public schools back home. But I've heard of moms that actually struggle getting their kids into good public schools, especially when they have to start grade 1.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
so I guess most people back home, especially middle class to higher class working citizens back home in South Africa, I know most people send their kids to private school. Well, not private schools, but yeah, but to schools where we have to pay for the education.
For the education. Okay. So I think that's
Yeah.
also just something to. I think that's also something to note that in the UK, you don't pay for the school, so school is free.
And it's really good.
They're really good.
Quality schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deborah is asking. She's saying, "Are there no free government nursery schools if sending your child to nursery school is compulsory?" No, no. Nursery is an arm and a leg. And I think personally, I'd actually advise people that have children and they want to come to the UK. I think like wait until maybe your child is like 3, turning 4, so that you know what they're just entering reception, and then it's just going to be year 1 on forward. But if you're going to do either what we did, boys that came here when he was 2, or have children here, so from 0 to just before 4 years, yeah, you're going to feel those years. It's quite an arm and a leg. So yeah, that's what my experience has been. Not sure about other people.
Yeah. So
Nombasa, is there anything else you'd like to add?
So, friend,
Or
with
any
all of
questions from
that,
anyone? Yep. You're frozen. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm.
with all
Okay, guys, we've lost Nombasa. But hope the conversation was insightful. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll respond accordingly. Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye.